Good morning, all. Next topic in transaction we'll see is schedules. See, before going to schedules, we'll see what is the schedule first. A schedule means it is a representations of the transaction, or we can tell the order of the operations of these transaction. Operations are nothing but what activity each of the transactions are going to perform. So the representation and ordering of these transactions we'll be calling it as a schedule. Here it is defined as a sequence of instructions that specify the chronological order in which instructions of concurrent transactions have been executed. So we can call it we can also define schedules as the representations as well as the order of operations of the transactions that we are going to define, that we are going to put in order. So see, a schedule means a schedule for a set of transactions must consist of all the instructions of those transactions. See, there are two transactions, suppose T1 and T2. There can be more than two transactions also, but here in turn each transactions will be having number of operations performed. Suppose if I'll write T1 is performing I1 operation, I2 operation, and again T2 is performing, like I'll take J here, J1 and J2 suppose. So this J1 and J2 I'll be writing here. So this is the type of schedule. First transaction T1 will be performed serially, I1, I2. Then it will jump to the transaction T2 and J1 and J2 it is going to perform. So the set of transaction must consist of all the instructions of those transaction. First it should contain T1 transaction should contains all the instructions. Then T2 should contains all the instructions. Then we must preserve the order in which the instructions appear to each individual transaction. So why it is telling we should preserve the order? See, I said you here T1 transaction and T2 transaction. Here it is having I1, I2. So we should preserve this I1 and I2 order. You can't write I2 and I1. So here the representation plays a major role, because see, whenever you're opening an account, directly you can't perform the operation, then commit and then close. You have to first read the account, then sequentially you will be performing the operations, then finally close it. In like directly performing operations and then closing, then reading, this is not allowed. So you should have some specific order. So I1, I2 will be done sequentially one after the other. Then how the transactions have been written sequentially, it will be jumping in that way. So it preserves the order. So a transaction that successfully completes its execution will have a commit instruction at the last. See, suppose you're having instructions like I1, I2. Here you're having J1, J2. So this is one type of schedule. First transaction T1 will be executing I1, I2. Then transaction T2 will be executing J1, J2. You can have one more type of transactions, that is J1, J2 will be performing first, then I1, I2 concurrently one after the other. So this is the second type of transaction, first, second. Then two more you will be having, I'll show you. See, transaction T1, T2, that is I1 you will be doing first, then J1 you will be doing, then I2 you will be doing, then J2. Then one more, T1, T2. You will be doing J1 first, then I1 first, then J2, then I2. So previous two is called as a sequential schedule. These are called as these two types of scheduling is called as interleaved schedule. Interleaved schedule. These two are called as interleaved schedule. And the previous two schedules were like I1, I2 will be performed first, then J1, J2, or J1, J2 first, then I1, I2. Those are called as sequential schedule or serial scheduling also. So we have seen first is serial schedule, then second is interleaved schedule. So these are the two types of schedule. So here whenever scheduling, these are the different types of schedule we have seen, serial and interleaved. So here a transaction that successfully completes its execution will have a commit instruction at the last statement. So see, after performing all the operations of transaction T1, if it is going to commit, then that will be upgraded in the on the disk. If if T2's all the operations have been done, if commit is written at the end, that means all the updations will be done on the disk. So if commit is there, that means we are going to update on the disk. If abort is present in the transaction at the end, that means it will roll back and go to your previous database, like previous database. That means no updation has been done on your transaction. So here a transaction might complete its execution successfully with the help of commit statements, or else it will fail by using the abort statement. So we'll see next. See, with this example, we'll be seeing different schedulings. See, in first example, what it is telling, transaction T1 to transfer $50 from account A to B. We are going to transfer $50 amount from account A to B. So for that, we are having set of instructions. That is, transaction T1 is holding set of instruction. Those are read of A is equals to A is reducing that 50 amount of dollar from its account and updating with the right of A and updating on the buffer itself initially. Then on the later stage, we are going to open the B's account and increase B's account with $50. Then write this on the disk, write this on the initial buffer. So these are the these are the instructions to transfer $50 from account A to B. Next set of instructions is, that is transaction T2. What we are doing here, we are going to transfer 10% of the balance from account A to account B. 10% of his balance of account A to account B we are going to transfer. That is, initially he will read A transaction, then temporarily he is holding, we are using that is A into 0.1, that is 10% of A's amount will be holded in temp variable. So A is equals to A minus temp means that 10% you are going to deduct from A's account and write that on your buffer. Then second set of transaction is read B's account, then that temp value, that is 10% of A's account value is being holded in temp variable. That temp value will be adding with the B's account. So finally we'll write that in B. So these are the two different types of transaction. That is, first transaction is transfer of $50 from account A to B, and second set of transaction is transfer 10% of the balance of account A to account B. So we'll see next. See here, first type of scheduling here, what it is doing is we are having a this is the serial schedule. Why we are calling it as a serial schedule means you are having all T1 transaction has been read. First all the transaction has been read, then second set is read all the instructions of transaction T2. First T1 is been executed, then T2 is been executed. So this is one after the other we are going to do. See, previously we have seen in concurrent execution, that is that is in see, this is also called as a serial scheduler, because T1 all the instructions we are executing, then T2 is all instruction we are executing, like we have seen in our previous example. T1 is having I1 I2, then T2 is having J1 J2. So we'll finish all T1 I1 I2, then we'll finish J1 J2. So see here what is happening. Suppose we are having A is equals to 1000 here. Initially A is having 1000 and B's account is having $2000. Then we are reducing in first transaction. What we are doing, we are transferring $50 amount from A's account to B's account. So read A. So read A means it is going to read as 1000. Then A is equals to A minus 50 means 1000 minus 50 you are going to get 950. Then write this A. We are going to write this on the buffer. Then next set instruction is read B. Read B is, you're going to read B as 2000. B is equals to B plus 50 means 2050. Then what we are doing here? Then read of A. Read of A means it is going to read here new value of A, that we are going to get to 950, because that we have already written on our buffer. So it is going to take a read of A as 950. Then in this second set of transaction, it is transferring 10% of its balance from A to B. It is transferring 10% of the balance of from A's account to B. So temp is equals to A into 0.1. So temp value means 950 is 10% will be 95. Temp is holding 95 dollar, you can tell. A is equals to A minus temp, that is A is equals to A minus temp, you are going to get to 850, because 950 minus 95 you're going to get 855. Then write this A value is now, new value of A is 855. Then read of B. Read of B is, here B value is 2050. So 2050 plus temp we are going to do. You can read here. So B plus temp is, B value is 2050. 2050 plus temp you are going to get, temp is 95. So you will get new value of B as 2145. So here initially what we had, A value as 1000 and B value as 2000. So if you are going to add A and B, you'll be getting 3000. So after performing all these transactions by using serial scheduling one after the other, if you add up the final amount, A value is here 855 and B is 2145. So if you add up them, then again you're getting 3000. That means the transaction before executing also was in consistent state, and after performing all the transaction also it is in consistent state. That means here we are preserving its account balance. So it is, so this is one type of scheduling, that is serial scheduling. So here we are going to check before and after whether it is in consistent state or no. Before we had, after adding A plus B you're getting 3000, and after performing the transaction between T1 and T2 also you're going to get 3000. Then we are preserving here the value. So this is one type of serial scheduling. So same we are going to do it in other way. That is, first we'll perform all T2 transaction, then T1 transaction. If you are doing in this way also, see, if you are doing it in this way also, read A, it is going to read 1000. So first we are going to transfer 10% of A's balance into B's account. So A into 0.1 you will be getting 100. So 10% of 1000 is 100. So temp will be holding 100. So A is equals to A minus temp, you will be getting 900. Then write this A value. New A value is 900. Then read B. B is 2000. So B plus temp is 2100. So we are, temp value is 100. So 2000 plus 100 you will be getting 2100. Then write this B value. Then next set of instructions here is read A. A is, new value of A is 900. Then A minus 50 is 850. Write of A 850. We are going to write this on the buffer. Then read of B is, this new value of B it will be taking 2100. Then add 50 into that too. Here the second set of instruction, what we are doing, we are transferring $50 from account A to B, that all transactions we are running sequentially. So finally we'll get A and B value as, A is 850 and B is 2150. So before starting any transaction we'll add up A and B. So we are getting 3000, and after finishing the transaction just check out, A value is 850 and B value is 2150. If you sum them up you're getting still 3000. Then it is said to be in a consistent state before and after. That means we are preserving its sum value. Then this is also an valid scheduling, that is serial scheduling. First T2 transaction will do, then T1. Previously we have done T1 all the instructions first we are running, then T2 all the instructions we are running. Still we are preserving our values. So these are the first two are the serial scheduling examples. Next we'll see equivalent scheduler. So here what we are going to do, see this is like your other type of one second. See, this type of example is called as interleaved scheduling. That means here few instructions of T1 have been executed, few instructions of T1 has been executed, then few instructions of T2, then again remaining few instructions of T1 and remaining T2. Like this we are going to do. So this is called as interleaved type of scheduling. So in this also, if you are going to perform both the transaction, that is $50 you are going to transfer from account A to account B, and 10% of A's balance transfer to B's account. So here in transaction T1, first set we are going to do is reduce 50 amount from A's account, and also 10% of his balance we are going to read it and update. We are going to minus the 10% from A's account, and also $50 we are going to reduce from A account. That is we are going to do this serially one after the other. Then after performing all A, then we'll jump to read B. In B's account we'll transfer $50. Then again in B's dollar we are going to shift that 10% of A's balance into B's account. So after adding these A and B value, finally what we got, A, B value, if it is preserving its value, then it is said to be in a consistent state. This is called as interleaved scheduling, or equivalent to, it is also equivalent to your schedule 1. So we can see that A value is 855 and B values is 2145. So if you add them up, still you are preserving the values. You are going to get 3000. We'll see schedule fourth type of scheduling. See, this is a concurrent scheduling. So here what is happening, see, you're reading A and A is equals to A minus 50 you're doing here, but you're not writing anywhere. You're not writing it on the buffer also. Only read and you're going to perform the operation. Then in second set of transaction, if you're going to do again read of A, it will take 1000 value, it will not take 950, because we are not writing in the previous transaction anywhere on the buffer. Just we are manipulating on the front screen, and we are not updating on the initial buffer or not committing also. So it will take 1000 value as A. Then temp is equals to that 1000, 10% is 100 we will be getting. Then A minus temp you will be getting 900. So again perform all. Here we are going to do write of A. Then read B is 2000, because we are not manipulating anywhere B value. So B is 2000. Here we are going to do write of A. Write of A means here it is going to take A value as, one second. See, here write of 8 is going to take write A value as 900. Then read B is 2000 here. Again B plus 50, you're going to get it as, see, write of 8 is going to take 900, because previously in this instruction we have done write of A. Again B value will be 2000. 2000 plus 50 is 2050. Then B is equals to B plus 10. So these instructions after executing all, we will be getting A and B value as 900 plus 2150. So we got the result as 3050. Actually we should get 3000, but we are getting 3050, because these are not done in order. This is not done in order, so we are not getting the correct result. So this is the incorrect type of scheduling. So these are the different types of schedules we have seen. Thank you.